My name is Nancy Rowan, and my father is Larry Stevens. He was born July 10th, 1924. He's 95 years of age. He's a survivor of the Second World War. He flew on a 4-engine bomber, AB-17, as a tail gunner out of the 8th Air Force, located in Orem, England. His crew of 10 men completed 35 combat missions over Europe, including Germany, Poland, Russia, Italy, and France. His crew flew over Normandy on D-Day, June 6, 1944. It was their 16th mission of 35. He has written a book titled, It Only Takes One, meaning it only takes one to get yourself killed, shot down, or wounded. This is my father, Larry Stevens.
I'm Larry Stevens. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, December 7, 1941, I was a sophomore in Alhambra High School and didn't know Pearl Harbor existed. 2 years later, in 1943, I was a senior. I was visiting together with my last two friends who had graduated in February of 1943. They said, "We've been drafted and tomorrow we are going on a bus to LA. We'll be signing up for the service." I said, "If you go, I will cut school and go with my parents' permission. I'll go with you and sign up too." The following day, April 10th, 1943, after being sworn into the service, we were given 30 days to finish up any details prior to going into the service. I went to my teachers and told them what I had done and asked if they could give me extra work so that I could graduate with my June 1943 high school class. They gave me the extra work and I graduated with my June 1943 high school class. In those days, we were a united country and everyone wanted to be a part of the war. On May 10th, 1943, the three of us met again downtown Los Angeles and were bused to a base outside of San Bernardino. There they gave us an IQ test. After the test, I was taken into a private room and interrogated as to what service I would prefer to go into. I told my interrogator I was a high school student and wanted to join the Air Force through high school photography. He said, "I'll have to ask you 12 questions, see what knowledge you have of photography." He asked me 12 questions, which were easy, and he said, "You know your photography." 3 days later, 11 of us were put on a sleeper train and shipped from California to Atlantic City, New Jersey, about 3 football fields from the Atlantic Ocean. The Claridge Hotel, 14th story. We did 3 months of basic training there, then sent to Denver, Colorado, Lowry Field, and did 3 months of armament training, then 3 months of gunnery school in Fort Myers, Florida, then to Avon Park, Florida, for 3 months of B-17 crew training. When crew training was finished, they boarded us onto the QE-1, or the Queen Elizabeth I, and sent us to the 8th Air Force in Horham, England. In 1943, Germany ruled the skies. When we sent our heavy bombers planes to bomb Germany, we had no fighter escort past the channel. Our fighter planes could only escort our bombers to the channel before they ran short of gasoline and had to return to base to refuel. However, at the beginning of January 1944, disposable fuel tanks were invented, which enabled our fighter planes to escort our bombers all the way to our German targets. Also, until the beginning of 1944, we only had 2 fighter planes to protect us in the air, the P-38 and the P-47. By January 1st, 1944, the P-51 was added to our fighter defense, and with the added fuel tanks, the 3 fighter planes put us on a par with the German fighter planes. and changed the war to our favor. Also, our newly trained bomber crews and fighter escorts were starting to flood into England from America. And on January the 5th of 1944, Jimmy Doolittle was brought into the 8th Air Force as Commander-in-Chief. He then gave the fighter planes the option of attacking the German fighter planes in his own, on their own German airfields, as well as protecting our heavy bombers to the targets. So at the end of 1943, the war was all Germany, but by the beginning of 1944, the war turned to our favor. That's about it.
Thank you, Dad.